Blog Talk Radio.
The whole system that we live in drills into us that we're powerless, that we're weak, that our society is evil, that it's crime-ridden, et cetera, and so forth. It's all a big, fat lie. We are powerful, beautiful, extraordinary. There is no reason why we cannot understand who we truly are, where we are going. There is no reason why the average individual cannot be fully empowered. We are incredibly powerful beings.
Now, I think I spent 30 years of my life, in the first 30, trying to become something. I wanted to become good at things. I wanted to become good at tennis. I wanted to become good at school and grades and everything I kind of viewed in that perspective. I'm not okay the way I am, but if I got good at things, I realized that I had the game wrong. The game was to find out what I already was, find out what I already was.
Now, in our culture, we've been trained for individual differences to stand out. So you look at each person, the immediate hit is brighter, dumber, older, younger, richer, poorer, and we make all these dimensional distinctions, put them in categories and treat them that way. And we get so that we only see others as separate from ourselves in the ways in which they're separate. And one of the dramatic characteristics of experience is being with another person and suddenly seeing the ways in which they are like you, not different from you, and experiencing the fact that that which is essence in you and which is essence in me is indeed one. The understanding that there is no other. It is all one. And I wasn't born Richard Albert. I was just born as a human being. And then I learned this whole business of who I am and whether I'm good or bad or achieving or not, all I've learned along the way.
The old appeals to racial, sexual, and religious chauvinism, to rabid nationalist fervor, are beginning not to work. A new consciousness is developing which sees the Earth as a single organism and recognizes that an organism at war with itself is doomed.
Hope you're enjoying this beautiful January day. It is January 5th of the year 2011. And it's quite a nice day today. That's all right. I'm not actually used to being on here on Wednesdays at all. It's a new day for me, so hey, it's all good. Didn't want it just to be dead air with absolutely nothing, so yeah, I'm here, and I'm enjoying it. I really was not prepared at all. I didn't find out until about 3 hours ago that I was going to be on air, so totally unprepared today. So hey, if anybody wants to call in, we can talk about just about anything. 347-324-3704. You can always check out all the other hosts for Freedomizer Radio at www.freedomizerradio.com. Firstly, I have a couple of nice guests coming up. I have this Friday on the 7th. I have Will Spencer. He is a doctor out in California who uses healing and natural natural abilities coming from the earth and within ourselves and energy to help people in that area, along with food and the energies that come from food. So he will be joining me on the 7th, and on the 8th, starting with pedal hours of people ending discrimination on looks, which of course is Perth Negative nonprofit group that he started quite a few years ago. So we will have Professor Howell joining us, and he's also known as the Barefoot Professor, and he'll most likely be sticking around for the 2nd hour as well. Soon I'll also have George for Title coming up. We haven't gotten the exact date. I think he's going to be here next Friday, not the 7th, but on the 14th, I do believe. And then there's a couple other people that will be joining us really soon as well. So in following me today, of course, we have Join Ready with the, I believe that's right, I didn't even look, yes, with the Moretti Report and the Liberty Underground. So that's always an interesting new show that I encourage everyone to be sure to be a part of and listen. There's a lot of things been going on lately that I could touch in on, and I've been kind of really interested in, mainly right now. I know that the solar cycle is going through a major process, and a lot of things are being seen on the sun that have never been seen before. So it's been interesting, and I think we should be prepared for what happens, because what happens outside of our own small realities and our own small communities actually affects us as well. And what the sun does, it seriously affects not only the electronics, but our bodies and the food and everything else. And then we hear about all these strange events happening lately. What, we have fish, 100,000 or so of one species, just, flopping dead on the Arkansas River, and all the blackbirds falling from the sky. They said looked like they had traumatic injuries, like literally like their livers exploded so far from what I hear. And they tried to say, ooh, they got scared from fireworks. They actually all had a heart attack from fireworks. Blackbirds in general are usually pretty intelligent birds. And even if, say, it was like a mass kind of scare or whatever, I just don't see this happening. It just seems wrong. It doesn't seem right at all when they say they got scared to death. Like crows have never heard fireworks or seen anything like it before. Something different happened. And then, of course, what? There were more in Louisiana, and I heard Kentucky, I believe. Kind of interesting. So strange things are happening. I know we do know that the Gulf Stream has changed where it travels, so that's a big deal just in general. And that in itself is going to change not only weather patterns here. Of course, we didn't see very many hurricanes at all this season, when it was supposed to be a pretty extreme one, of course. That's, what we've been told. But the sun is a really big deal. It's going through some major changes right now, whether it's ramping up or ramping down, nobody really knows. They do know that they've seen some things they've never seen before, and they're a little bit more curious than I guess most common people are. I think we should keep an eye on it. There's some things going on, seriously, so far, and it's only the 5th day. Only the 5th day. Oh no. Things are going to be interesting. Like I said, I'm seriously not prepared today, so I'm gonna play my song. That's what I've been playing lately. I gotta check on my boy real fast. Like I said, I wasn't prepared today, so if anybody wants to call in, we'll talk about whatever. 347-324-3704. Would love to have company. I'm always here. Hang in there.
Sit back, little children, as I tell the tale of how the bankers say, and you can lose your only shirt in just a flash. You see, the Federal Reserve is not a government thing. It's a bunch of private bankers we obey. And they don't answer to the people 'cause they pull the strings. And that's precisely why we have to say, hey, 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 the Fed. Now, not too long ago, there was a president who tried. He was about to stick it to the lousy Fed. He made some legal tender, silver-backed in all its splendor. It's unfortunate he ended up dead. Clinton, Bush, Barack Obama, Carter, Reagan, and McCain. We argue who's the best until we drop. But whoever is elected, it all comes down the same. Till we see that it's the Fed we need to stop. Hey, 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 hey. The Fed. Hey, 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 hey. The Fed. We need a president with balls, no matter white or black or female. Someone more than just another talking head. They have to stand up for our rights. They better read the Constitution when they hear the people cry for the Fed. So tell your children, if we're still around, to tell how depressions were created by a few. How the people lived and suffered while the candidates debated till the people knew exactly what to do. Hey, 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 hey. The Fed. Hey, 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 hey. The Fed.
All right, Freedomizers, so I'm back here with you, of course. My son's everything too, so I don't know. You got it. Okay, so we're hanging out and enjoying our day. And like I said, anybody wants to join in, just call 347-224-3704, and we'll cover, whatever y'all actually want to cover. If not, we'll just get back into, I guess, where I was. I don't want to cover so much on the birds and fish because nobody really truly knows what's going on quite yet. So I'm still a little bit up in the air about that. But there's still like this great belief that I truly have that this year, 2011, is honestly a year of change. And there's so much energy that's already in the air that you can feel if you're even slightly perceptive to it. This seriously shows you that you need to pay attention to things around you. And people are starting to notice that the simple things like TV and these entertainment and this drive that is based in instant gratification is not the way we need to go. And that things are actually not as entertaining or gratifying as they used to be. And I think that's a big deal right now. And it's very important for that curiosity that we used to have to start showing again, to see that we want to know our past, that we want to know the truth, and that we don't want this oppression that is happening from the powers that be and the tighter reins that are being put on us just for control factors, and it doesn't make sense. I I think we have the opportunity here and now to change things. And I'd like to see it happen. And I think that we have the opportunity and the people here who can change it. And if you just feel this little bit of energy that's there, here and now, if you feel it, then maybe we should respond for once. And 2011 is just that opportunity. It seriously is. And January is a big month for that. And the transition is happening right now. And we need to pay attention to it instead of ignoring it. Instead of turning our backs thinking that someone else will take care of it. What we need to do right now is realize that we have the opportunity to manifest our reality. That we have the chance here and now to change the direction that this world and each other are going. We have the chance here and now to actually get up and do something. We are in that transition period. We are in the time frame that allows us to actually change not only the path of mankind, but the energy and the whole essence of life that exists here. We have a chance to not only escape this oppression and these binds that they keep putting over us, but we have the chance to make it a better life and a better reality, and not just for ourselves, but for everything else that exists in our perception. That's the importance of this year, and that's why I don't want to focus on New Year's resolutions, because that's to say that you have something wrong with you, and there is nothing wrong with us. We are awesome, amazing, beautiful creatures with such potential, with such awesome wonder, and with such curiosity that has allowed us to reach the peaks that we reach. That curiosity is important. That curiosity is what will lead us to actually finding more about our past. They keep finding more and more pyramids across the globe. And they have all these in China that they've been trying to hide. And the skeletons that have been found in the remains, the human remains, that shows that the ancient civilization that existed prior to the flood was a worldwide civilization that had people not only white, but of many races. And yes, there were many tall people, human beings that were a lot taller than us. But they don't want us to know that. They don't want us to know that a civilization reached the peak that we have reached now. That they actually had world leaders communicating with other world leaders. But we don't want to believe that. But more and more evidence is being shown that right at the peak of what was known as the last ice age, the mini ice age, that the water was receded a lot further than what it is now. And the waters have risen a lot since then. That's why a lot of what was missing or what has been hidden has been underwater, has been in ruins. And we are just now starting to see it, mainly because of technology, because we've reached the point to where we have eyes in the sky high above that can see detail that has never been seen before, in areas that have never been topographically mapped before now. And now they're seeing inside the water and seeing these old, beautiful structures and huge megacities that existed on all coastlines of the world, not just in one place. There was civilization everywhere that communicated with each other. It was beautiful. And they had the technology. And we're afraid to look at our past. Well, actually, we've been taught to be afraid to look at our past. We've been taught by religion and by science that we were not perfect beings once, and we were, and we can get there again. And this year is that year. This year is the time that we can make that change. And it's an amazing thing, and I'm very, very excited to be a part of it. I very much am. And I really hope that people see that as well, because if you see things in excitement and love and joy, then imagine the effect you have on the world around you. If you stay in that happiness and in that state, then the world around you stays in that state as well. Plants grow stronger. Water can become pure and have a perfect crystal formed inside of it just from your focus, from your paying attention to it. It's an amazing thing. But, hey, that's just me. And like I said, was never prepared for today. So I'm going to find something to put on real quick and check on my boy because he shut his bedroom door, and, you know, that's never a good sign with a 4-year-old. He probably has the kitten hiding in there, and I don't know what he's doing yet. So, let's do this. I'll be right back.
You've been fantastic, and I hope you enjoyed it. There is a point. Is there a point to all this? Let's find a point. Is there a point to my act? I would say there is. I have to. The world is like a ride at an amusement park, and when you choose to go on it, you think it's real, because that's how powerful our minds are. And the ride goes up and down and round and round. It has thrills and chills, and it's very brightly colored, and it's very loud, and it's fun for a while. Some people have been on the ride for a long time, and they begin to question, is this real, or is this just a ride? And other people have remembered, and they come back to us, and they say, hey, don't worry, don't be afraid, ever, because this is just a ride. And we kill those people. Shut him up. We have a lot invested in this ride. Shut him up. Look at my furrows of worry. Look at my big bank account and my family. This has to be real. It's just a ride. But we always kill those good guys who try and tell us that. You ever notice that? And let the demons run amok? But it doesn't matter because it's just a ride. And we can change it anytime we want. It's only a choice. No effort, no work, no job, no savings of money. A choice right now between fear and love. The eyes of fear want you to put bigger locks on your door, buy guns, close yourself off. The eyes of love instead see all of us as one.
You are a divine being. You matter. You count.
So scientists, they're publishing this in the journals. It's a great text. Many of your guests have talked about this field. Scientists are looking at this and they're saying, okay, well, you know, this field is out there. What do we do with it?
This triple sanctuary is home to the pineal gland, or third eye. The enigmatic cobra rising from the third eye of the pharaoh is so prevalent that it is almost synonymous with Egyptian art. What did it mean? The central aspect of the pharaohs was that they were humankind perfected and elevated to a divine plane. The cobra over the pineal gland area served as the perfect insignia for their status, but also connects to a concept found in countless...
Okay, Freedomizers, I apologize for that. I had to check my way down, of course, so he can be a good boy and be nice, because he knows that he has the opportunity to go and do something right now. So he's just being advantageous of the situation and being silly too. But hey, that's because it's such a nice day. We see the sun outside, and I know he wants to go run around outside. So I know it's good too. Yes, it is hungry. So anyway, for all the guests that are here, if you take the opportunity, it only takes like a minute or two to run up. You can get yourself a quick login name and password, and you can join us in the chat room and talk, or you can always call in and join in at 347-324-3704. Always welcome guests to chime in and give their opinion and maybe help a little bit. For some reason, I was totally unprepared today. But I'm still here, and I'm with y'all, and we can keep pretty much going on. If Seth will put the kitten on and be a good boy. Get my dog on. No, how about no? How about you leave me alone for a little bit? You're hurting me. Oh, what did you do to All right, sorry everybody, I do apologize. So, where were we anyway? I guess we were talking about the things that combine and connect us all, I'm sure. Yeah, I am totally lost. Such a bad thing. Let's get back. You can always call me 347-324-3704. This was kind of an impromptu show for me, apparently. But hey, I'm here. I'll probably be with you next Wednesday as well. And like I said, I do have a couple of guests coming out this weekend on the Friday, the 7th. I have Will Spencer, a doctor that uses energy and everything that connects us in natural ways with the earth to help heal and take care of you and your food and things of that nature. And then we have on the 8th, most likely for 2 hours. Dr. Howell, he's a doctor of anatomy, believe it or not, and he's also known as the Barefoot Professor. So that should be a fun one as well. And you can always check out all the other hosts that we have here at Freedomizer at www.freedomizerradio.com. We have over 9 hours of live show daily. So there's quite a different variety of people that you can find here. I'm probably one of the more, I don't know, friends elements here at Freedomizer. But that's a little bit different. Most here is, of course, the fight against the New World Order, which I'm very much for, and that's what got me started in all this. But because of past events and trying to find our past and find where religion or spirituality actually has a place. Hang in there. I can't keep this up. Let's do this real quick. Hang in there.
This is America, a beautiful necklace of rare gems, different colors from different places. If they could speak, you'd hear 171 languages. But the miracle that produced this necklace 233 years ago, in the greatest burst of freedom the world has ever seen, is this thin, fragile piece of string that holds all this diversity together and has made you the strongest and most prosperous nation on earth, allowing us all to remain different but unified as a people with this, the common bond, the thin, fragile piece of string, I am an American. The enemy within condemns this belief by shouting our differences are our strength. Yes, but only if you continue to be united behind one country, one culture, one language, one rule of law. There is no unity in a pluralistic society unless there is a common bond you all support. You cannot unite around differences. If this common bond is broken by any means, then there can be no common sense, because common history, common values, and common law no longer exist, and you've lost the United States of America, regardless of what state the economy is in. Now, the enemy within say you must destroy American sovereignty, open your borders, and become an international halfway house for the rest of the world, all paid for, of course, by you, which you can no longer now afford. Global democracy, global economy, global governance, lumping all human beings into a homogeneous mankind that does not now nor ever has existed in reality. Convincing you that nationalism and pride in country is extremism. Engage the world, yes, but never surrender your independence to it. The dismantlers of your history, your traditions, your founding principles are the elite brain dead who have redefined the definition of liberalism to mean you serve the world best by giving away America's strength, raising taxes on the 60% of taxpayers who pay for the 40% who pay nothing, reinstigating the welfare state with more giveaway programs that effectively erase all dignity and personal responsibility and declare all minorities are helpless victims, not independent human beings. They've rewritten American history and have already brainwashed 2 generations of your children, taught to blame America first, to criticize before understanding the generosity and nobility of their own history. What you teach in your schools today becomes government policy tomorrow. How can you expect young people to appreciate their country when they've been taught a putrid lie by these dismantlers, that America is the cause of all evil in the world? The dismantlers are the enemy, but not the problem. Then what or who is breaking our common bond? If you're the one who says our children are our future, but do nothing to stop the shameful disparity of quality of education between suburban schools and inner city schools, with 50% of black and brown children dropping out, becoming drug addicts, alcoholics, unemployable, with an 80% possibility of being a burden to society the rest of their lives, then you are the problem. If you are not on the phone, in the school board meetings demanding excellence, but instead are pleading for a breakdown of the common bond with more bilingual education, costing the taxpayer billions of dollars and doing nothing to hasten assimilation, then you are breaking the common bond. Billions of dollars you can no longer afford. If you're all for lowering standards so everyone can pass, pushing stupidity and mediocrity toward graduation, then you are the problem. If you allow the dismantlers to label it anti-immigrant because you demand all newcomers enter legally, learn English, our history, and salute our flag, then you are the problem. It's not about discrimination, immigrant bashing, or a lack of charity. It's about maintaining the glue of your common bond and the rule of law. if you don't rise up and throw out your insane mayors and hypocritical bishops who declare sanctuary cities for lawbreakers, inviting more lawbreakers to come and drink at the well of the taxpayers' money, then you are the problem. If you're a white person who doesn't recognize the effects of slavery and years of welfare dependence have adversely affected black people, then you are the problem. If you're a black person who calls all criticism racist and halt all intelligent discussion, then you are the problem. I wrote the first anti-slavery essay in America in 1775. I founded the first abolitionist society in the country and wrote the first rough draft of the Declaration of Independence, specifically calling for an end to slavery. I know the ugly face of racism, and modern America is not a nation of racists. Opportunity and anti-discrimination laws have leveled the playing field. Take advantage of both and stop thinking of yourself as a victim, and understand all conflicts are simply memories of the past. If you can't get over them, you condemn yourself to be destroyed by them. It's time to put away the race cards and unite behind the common bond. It's the strength without which there is no America. Your brave servicemen and women, black, white, brown, red, and all the colors in between, are giving their lives and their blood to protect you from the enemy without. It's your turn to stand up and defeat the enemy within. Restore your common bond. There have been 10 generations of Americans since this nation was founded. Each left this country in a little better condition than when they inherited it from their parents. Yours is the first generation at risk of doing the opposite. Let that not be your epitaph. When America was being torn apart by the dividers and the dismantlers, the silent majority stood by and did nothing. Join the Second American Revolution and fight for the common bond. It's your first and last best hope to preserve the life of America. My name is Thomas Paine, yes. These are the times that try men's souls. The summer soldier and the sunshine patriot will, in this crisis, shrink from the service of their country. May you never be numbered among those cowards. Take back America now.
Hey, Freedomizers, have you started your food storage yet? Are you dehydrating your own organic fruits and vegetables? Proof Negative here is going to tell you to check out dehydrate2store.com, where Tammy is going to show you how to dehydrate your own fruits and vegetables so that you can have the best food storage possible. Why waste money on inferior products when you could do it yourself? Easy. Check out dehydrate2store.com.
Hello, you freedom-loving freaks. Adjust your tinfoil and join me, the conspiracy theorist, live here at Freedomizer Radio. Freedomizer Radio, waking people up. They have their little puppets and underlings in place in pretty much every government on this planet who do their bidding as they push us into this one-world system. That's how it works. Somebody needs to carve that thing up, and I think I might be the man for the job. Be the man for the job. Waking people up. Just a tinfoil. Waking people up. If I got to break down the information, waking people up. Every time I get to have this conversation, it sends them a little deeper down the rabbit hole. Look a little deeper. Freedomizer Radio, waking Freedomizer Radio, waking people up.
Alright, Freedomizers, Nikki Nick back here with you as we try to rise above dehumanization, of course. And following my show, we will have Drum Ready with the Liberty Underground and the Ready Report. So make sure to stick in for that as well. And let's see. And you can check the other hosts at www.freedomizerradio.com. And you can always call in and join me at 347-324-3704. And it is, what is today? Today is Wednesday, January 5th of the year 2011. And 2011 being definitely a transition time for everybody in this world. And a time where you can see that you can truly have an effect on the world around you, and that you can truly have an impact on your own matrix, on your own perceptions, and the perceptions of life that exist close to you. It doesn't take much, just take some small steps. And that's what we're here to, I guess, lead each other into, because we can't do it alone. And it takes us all, because we are all truly connected. So it is quite important that you don't ignore your neighbor, your fellow man, because we really do need each other. And I think we are so much more alike than anyone could ever imagine. Well, probably not anyone, but hey. We have such great abilities and such awesome potential that we tend to actually even downplay such abilities in ourselves. We don't want to believe that we have the ability to affect the world around us, because then that means that we are responsible for the world around us. And this responsibility is what people truly tend to fear. We don't want to be responsible. We want to blame somebody else. But hey, that's the way it goes. It's kind of funny. We don't even want to take responsibility for our own lives. When it comes to court systems, and I had done a whole little project back in high school, and well, when I was studying law and this kind of thing, but my whole thing was victims of society. I didn't have a father, so yeah, I went out and I robbed all these places, and I killed that man just because I didn't have a fatherly influence. We don't even take responsibility for our own lives, much less the reality that's even just around us. Let's see. And, it's responsibility for yourself is an easy one. Well, not for everybody, mainly because we are stuck in, what do you want to call it? We're stuck in the idea that we have to depend on the government and someone in control to be able to live our lives, that we can't actually do something ourselves, that we can't stand up for our own life and what has happened in our own life. We would rather say our parents, it's our parents' fault that turned out this way, instead of maybe, realizing that you are yourself, you were born yourself, and trust me, there's nothing they could have done, you would have turned out exactly the same. It's just the way it goes, and it takes one of those kind of kicks in the butt to realize it. It's just one of those realizations that's not an easy outcome or an easy idea for us to come to grips with. Because if we're actually responsible for ourselves and the lives that we influence, then doesn't that show how connected we are? Doesn't that show that we can be human? And it just takes small steps. Start with yourself, and to gain control of your own life, guilt is a hard one. We're always taught guilt through religion and through the government, and basically people in power tend to tell you that you have issues and that you need to feel guilty so that you can, I don't know, it's just one of these scary things, but we don't have to do that. We really don't. We don't need the powers that be to tell us what our lives are supposed to be, because we are naturally, as humans, react as humans should. We naturally tend to take care of each other. We tend to actually take care of the community in which we are a part of, because we are a part of it. Now they want us disconnected. They don't want you to know your neighbor, because then you might have compassion or empathy for your neighbor. And we think that is such a terrible thing. Oh no, let's run away from our neighbors. They're not us. They're not like us. But hey, we have a call I'm going to bring in real quick. So, caller?
Hey, how are you?
Hello, Sean. How are you today? Happy birthday, by the way.
Oh, thank you very much. Of course, I hope the connection is good, because for some reason the Skype is not working. So, so I used the Google deal here. So, so what's happening?
Not much. Enjoying the beautiful day. Well, trying to. How's Europe?
Very cold, and you know, fortunately, when I get back, I'll be 6 hours younger. So.
That's a great way to look at it. I like that.
Yeah. So, no, it's very cold here, and it's, and I've been listening to what you've been saying, and it's funny because here in Switzerland, especially in Zurich, this is, of course, a country that being a neutral country or professing to be a neutral country have had the ability to amass all the several fortunes here. So there's a lot of money sitting here in this little piece of the world. Amazing how it all converges here, pretty much.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of there's actually quite a few think tanks that are in Switzerland and a large movement that seems to come from that direction as well. And they are actually, most people don't seem to realize that in Switzerland, they're actually quite well trained and armed people, and they take care of themselves and each other. And they actually go out and practice their weaponry quite often. Most people aren't aware of little things like that, but I have much respect for their ideas. And the U.S. Constitution was actually based on a lot of the Switzerland's ideas.
Yeah, and, you know, the thing that you were saying earlier about, I mean, before, when mankind first began, they used to have a clan system where there was a hierarchy, of course, and then, of course, the group followed the hierarchy and they took care of each other. There's got to be some sort of order. However, what's happened throughout the years and the evolution of government, especially in our country, when our country is so young, we have allowed a very small group of people to take control of everything. And then, of course, like we spoke about before, about you know, the mass hypnosis that has happened with our country, where they have taken control of all the media. It used to be that news media used to report. Now since there are different factions involved in all the networks and newspapers and what have you, then they now express opinions rather than report on what's happening. And that's how the small group of people have taken control of everything that surrounds us, and they have even amassed a great deal of influence in printed media, television, movies, etc., etc. And they keep us in this hypnosis that that we need them, and that things are really, really bad when they keep us in fear all the time. And that is the kind of thing that helps them stay in control. Now, if people just start ignoring things and not start worrying so much about the economy is one that they use to try to scare you into doing what they want. For example, holding on to the money. If they restrict the flow of money because you're scared about spending it, then that creates a domino effect, so to speak, where everything does seem like it's bad. But that's pretty much where we need to wake up and see that the powers that be really don't have our best interest at heart.
No, and they use like entertainment and this whole like idea of instant gratification to keep you confused and not necessarily standing up and realizing what's really going on.
Yeah, and that's the thing, Nick, is that you have the people just keeping you confused while you're jumping from one thing to the next. It really blinds you to what's really going on while they're just laughing their asses off, collecting all the money, having, owning private islands, yachts, whatever, taking several vacations at taxpayers' expense. This is what what I do is I just pay at the end of the year whatever I owe. Whatever I owe, I pay it. I don't loan the government my money interest-free, yeah, because they sure as hell don't pay you any interest while they're holding on to your money. But they do charge you one if you owe them. So I'd rather take that money. I calculate it depending on whatever I made for the year. I calculate it. I put it in a savings account. Yeah, sure, it's only paying point whatever interest, but I'd rather get that money, some interest out of it, and then pay them what I actually owe them rather than allow them to use the money and squander it, really, and without any benefit to me. Because it boils down, if they really cared about you, they would pay you some interest, right? Or they would cut taxes or something, but they don't.
Yeah, and if you get into the sovereign identity as well, it's once you enter into an agreement with the government, which is the W-4 that you sign and say that, hey, you actually agreed to pay your taxes, that's the way it becomes illegal for you not to, is because you actually entered into a voluntary agreement for them to take your money from you.
Well, there is no law that says that you have to pay taxes. There is a law that says that you have to file, and that's how they get you. Because there's actually no law on the books that says you have to pay taxes. Because taxes are basically just levied upon you. It's just a levy. Okay, we need money to do this. You live in such and such a city. You use such and such services, so you have to pay for these services. Okay, that's fine. So I would rather they bill me.
Right?
Yeah.
See, that way you can actually keep a trackable record of what everybody actually spends at that moment in time. It's like instead of putting cameras on every corner, we actually need them in every government building and every government office to see what our employees are actually doing with what we give them in the first place. Because if they're wanting to pick on us, see, that's just it. We're not working for them. They are supposedly working for us.
Yeah, but it's for your protection. Don't you know that?
Yeah, the great nanny state.
We were trying to protect you. It's, you're no good on your own. You can't take care of yourself.
Much less your kids.
No, yeah. And God forbid that you try to take care of your kid on your own, because we know what's best for your kid. And that's the thing. And I mean, I'm beginning to see a trend here where it's okay to be patriotic. I'm a patriot. I've served in the armed services. I pay my taxes. I try to be productive. But God forbid if I express my opinions in an open forum, or who knows, they'll come kicking down my door if I say the wrong thing. Now it's very sad when you can't say what you think about the government, and I mean it totally goes against what we claim we stand for. It was okay to criticize the government. Now, if you do, strange things begin to happen to you.
Yeah, it used to be that the government was there to keep people safe, and now it is that people are there to keep the government safe. They're actually starting to reach a point where they fear those that they control. And it's become so obvious and so, I guess, quick and paced.
But that.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah, but that's the thing, and that's the thing that I keep telling people is that, especially you should see some of the things that people come to me for, and a lot of them are actually referred to me from psychologists and psychiatrists, and vice versa. Sometimes I have to refer some people to them, but the majority that are referred to me by a psychologist or a psychiatrist normally are just people that are really stressed out. It's nothing more than a lot of stress because they have allowed themselves to be put in fear by the powers that be, and all kinds of things, religion, commercials. You see it all the time.
You're not perfect. You got to live up to this perfect identity, this perfect body. You have to have the perfect life, make the perfect money. If not, then you're inadequate.
Correct. And that's what happens is, like, you see the obesity issue. the obesity issue. Because why? Because we have the Victoria's Secret's catalog girls going around. They're very beautiful, sure they are, but they don't live normal lives. You see the guys driving around in the Bugattis or the Audis or whatever, Mercedes, whatever big old car there is. And back in the mid-'80s and early '90s, we had the yuppies at the time, young urban professionals. And God forbid that if you were doing a little well, then it began to be a bad word. A lot of them, especially during the dot-com boom, there was a lot of yuppies at the time. And that bubble burst. But that's the thing. And what happened is when that bubble burst, you saw a lot of people. It's no different than the Great Depression when people were throwing themselves off of buildings. We're finding this thing with the all these schemers also, because they were able to put in your head, okay, if you don't have this certain lifestyle, go ahead and give me your life savings. Give me everything, and I will make sure that you acquire this lifestyle that you deserve. Well, who the heck are they to tell me what I deserve or what I want or what I think? But then nevertheless, we get caught up in it, unfortunately, because those are normal desires. We have our basic desires, and those are, basic animal desires are food, shelter, and sex. Those are your basic animal desires in order to reproduce. Then after that comes all the stuff that we as humans, we rationalize. We want more love, we want more money, and then we start to rationalize everything. I need more of this because if I say my family's, right, and there's a lot of people that are happy with their lifestyle, and they go against the grain, as you know, people that just want to live off nature and they want to be left alone, they want to be isolated. I'm not saying that a lot of these groups are good. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. But I'm saying I'm looking at some of them that, yeah, they just want to live in nature, they want to live off the land, but because they want to do this and they're going against the norm, they don't want to be sheeple, then we send the FBI after them and say, try to say that they're a cult or that they're that they're homegrown terrorists or something like that. Hey, they can go on the Appalachian Trail, and there's a lot of bootleggers up there that all they want to do is they want to make their little moonshine and they want to be left alone. But since they're not paying taxes on their moonshine, they're criminals.
So, and it's all about maintaining the facade that has been accepted as the correct way, what's right and wrong. And what's so bad is this idea of right and wrong is all based on perception to begin with. And so it all has to do with your perception. There is no right and wrong, just as there really is no good and evil. It's just two sides of the same coin. And they're both necessary. And life would not be life without one or the other. It's just we've been confused to think that we have to have it this way, that we have to have it, if it's black or white, it's A or B. There is no C, D, E, F. There is no all of the above or none of the above options. It's only one or two. It's only Republican or Democrat. And life is not like that. Existence is not like that.
Yeah, and this bad habit of people getting into these bad habit of people that people are getting into about amending the Constitution constantly. Yeah, it needs a little amending here and there, but a lot of these amendments, it's crazy.
They want to take out the N-word, seriously, out of the Mark Twain book, Huck Finn, just so that so if it's anybody who finds the word offensive, but in that book, it made a statement. It actually stated where the society was at that moment in history. And it gives you an idea where the people were coming from. And now they want to change it or completely take it from students ever reading. And I'm like, come on.
Yeah, because it's not politically correct. That's why I used to love George Carlin, because George Carlin called it like it was. He said back in World War II, we used to call it shell shock. Then we start to candy coat everything just to please certain people. And let me tell you something, and I can say this because there are black people in my family. There are Chinese people in my family. My family is a Heinz 57, and we're all alive, and you should see one of our gatherings. We have Chinese, we have black, we have Jamaicans, we got British, we got Europeans, we got Americans, okay? There is nothing wrong with being called black, okay? As a matter of fact, I got a lot of family relatives that say, when did it become a crime to be black? Why do I have to be African American? I don't even know if I come Africa, for all I know. I may have come from that continent, but I'm not necessarily African, et cetera, et cetera.
It's not even a
why, why do we have to hyphenate? Okay, if you're an American, you're an American. You're not an African American, you're an American. You're not a Chinese American, you're an American. You're either Chinese or you're American. Which one are you? I can say I'm an American with Chinese descent.
There you go.
But I don't go around hyphenating, get this. You're going to love this. My son was in kindergarten a few years back, and we lived in Florida at the time. And I got a letter from the school, public school, telling me that because they had given him some tests that he was going to be put in a gifted program. I was happy. I said, oh, cool. He's going to be put in a gifted program, maybe this will help him get a scholarship sometime, and he can go off to school and do something. So he'll get a little bit more availability of programs to him. Then I get another letter a few weeks later. We regret to inform you that there was a mistake made, and yada, yada, yada. So I would go to the school to find out what's going on. Well, didn't you say, well, he does not meet the criteria. So what criteria is that? Well, he does not belong to a minority. So what are you talking about here? That he doesn't belong to a minority? Yeah, he may be a little, he might be a little light, and he has blonde hair. But he's a quarter Chinese, and the other part is Polish. So what do you mean? What do you mean he's not a minority? Well, the program is only geared towards Haitians. Okay, so wait a minute. Okay, so this is the thing that just torques me down. The politicization of things. Why can't a person just get it for their merit? Whether it's a woman, whether it's a man, whether it's a gay man, a gay woman, a gay black woman, a gay white guy, I don't care. It doesn't have to be gay, but you get what I'm saying. Just get it on their merit.
Exactly.
Get it on their merit, and don't politicize this stuff.
Exactly, and we are so much more connected. We're so much more alike than what most people are led to believe. But hey, Sean, I was so grateful that you joined me, and happy birthday again. Do you want to tell people your website real quick and where they can find you?
Sure. It's www.hypnoresolutions.com, and you can reach me at sean.mcintyre@gmail.com.
Perfect, and he is a hypnotherapist, and he's joined us before, and we still got to get you scheduled for the next time so we can talk about more of the mass hypnosis of the nation, because quite an interesting schedule together.
Thank you.
Cool. Well, Freedomizers, hang in there. We've got Joanne Moretti coming up with the Liberty Underground and the Moretti Report. So this has been Nikki with you and Rise Above Dehumanization. I'm going to play you a quick song, and y'all can catch me again next time Friday. Same time, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, and that's noon on the West Coast. And let's play some Zsa Zsa. See y'all in a little while.
If you can't see me, just pump up the volume. McDonald's.